Today we'll be talking about Yasiin Bey, an entertainer who achieved international fame but never forgot his cultural, hometown, and family roots. Dante Terrell Smith, also known as Mos Def, now known as Yasiin Bey, was born in Bedford Stuyvesant on December 11, 1973. Before we shed light on the man we now know as Yasiin Bey, we should most def talk about the journey that brought him here. Bey grew up in Roosevelt houses on DeKalb, and he has been acting and rapping since he was 9 years old boy. His parents were politically and culturally active, and that paved way for Yasiin's personal sensibility on the topics of activism and social responsibility. Bey was a natural performer who embraced his love for the stage, acting, and hip-hop for the sole reason of educating and making others think. Yasiin's thoughtful approach towards acting and hip-hop stemmed from the fact that as a young boy, he was always inspired by the leaders of hip-hop who used wit to teach. Having worked with some of the most significant names in Hollywood, Bey was a profiling actor and rapper who was nominated for Grammy, Golden Globes, and Black Reel, etc. various times. In a nutshell, the Italian job actor is a history maker, a revolutionary and intelligent rapper who refused to be defined by titles or boxed into any one category. However, the musician turned actor did announce his retirement earlier this decade. Yasiin has also been a longtime friend to Kanye West. One of the things that evoked many of his fans to question, what in the world happened to Mos Def? We'll sort that out in a while. At the start of 2016 and during the prime of his acting and music career, Yasiin announced, "I'd be retiring from music recording industry as it currently exists today and Hollywood, effective immediately." Despite the announcement of his retirement, he continued to tour around the globe, selling out live concerts from one corner of the world to another. A little confused? Let's go back to a couple of years. Since Yasiin's parents were culturally and politically active, he had already developed an eye for matters of social responsibility and community activism. His father was initially a member of the Nation of Islam, and later followed an Imam Warith Din Muhammad. Yasiin Bey, then Dante Terrell Smith, was not exposed to Islam until the age of 13, and he took his Shahada, the Declaration of Islam, at the age of 19. Despite being a musician and actor during the major part of his life, Yasiin was always steadfast in his faith. Most of his live performances began with Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, and that speaks volumes about the type of man Bey was. You're not going to get through life without being devoted to something. Some of you are devoted to your jobs, your desires. The best way for me to spend my life is to try and become devoted to prayer, to Allah, he said. Yasiin continued his full-time career in acting and hip-hop with his stage name, Mos Def, short for Most Definitely, for the major part of his life. Mos Def was a figure of speech given to me by the culture and my environment, said Yasiin. The most logically understood decision for the public with some rational train of thought, however, was Bey's decision to change his name. I feel that I've done quite a bit with that name. I'm actually doing it. It's time to move on and expand. Therefore, in late 2011, the well-known musician/actor decided to legally change his name to Yasiin Bey. I feel that Mos Def is being treated as a product and not as a person anymore, said Yasiin. This might have been a piece of big news for the public, but Bey claims to have used this name privately among his friends and family since 1999. Therefore, it appeared that for Bey, the name-changing decision was more than just an effort to humanize himself. In fact, it had everything to do with how he looked at the world, who he was, and what he believed in. After this major change, this is what Yasiin said during an interview. "I don't want to deal with having any separation or alienation between the self that I see and know myself as." Not that Yasiin has said it out explicitly, but it appears that his ideology isn't well aligned with the ideas of the Hollywood and music industry, as they are today. Having played a part in lifting his people and social activism, Yasiin Bey always worked for a purpose to educate the unaware, to see the bigger canvas, and work for the betterment of society. The definitions of right and wrong may vary from faith to faith. However, according to Yasiin, you alone are responsible for your behavior. Morality can be a straightforward trait. However, morality in both art and religion combined is a sophisticated trait to carry, and no one knows this better than him. "I'm inspired by representations of art that are sincere and genuine," Bey said. "My revolution is personal. I'm doing this because it's real to me and everyone who can relate to it. I'm not doing this for anyone's approval, he added. Since 2016, many of Yasiin's fans have been confused about the complicated legacy of the artist we once knew as Mos Def. However, it seems that success and wealth were always secondary to the singer turned actor. As soon as Yasiin spotted a difference between the self that he saw and knew, he realized that it was time for a shift. Despite having his non-conventional ways, Yasiin Bey continues to be an institution and international phenomena. The world is indebted to his conscious and meaningful art and intelligent activism. To this date, Yasiin resides in his home in Brooklyn and continues to contribute to the community of Bed-Stuy.